Hi everyone, I am Judith Grace Akinyi, aka Saga, and today with me I have a guest whom I met through my channel. She has gone through stuff like I did, and she's going to introduce herself. And before we continue, I'd urge you to like, subscribe, comment, share, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you, Tuko family, for being with me in my channel. Thank you so much. I don't know how to thank you.
Hello, my name's Anne Wahu. I got to know about her story through the Tuko News, and what I noticed is like we share the same experiences. That's why I reached out to her and I told her I would like to also share my story. And I'm here today to share my story with you all.
Thank you so much, Anne, for joining us and for helping us to reach out to especially women and even men who go through stuff like we did, and especially the youth who are easily attracted to quick money or to easy money. We are here to tell you that money is vanity and money is not everything. You mentioned to me that you lost your son, but I would like to know what transpired then before in order to get you into the situation that you got into.
Thank you. My story, it's a long story. Basically, I was married. The marriage didn't work out. The man was violent. So I walked out of the marriage and I decided to live alone with my son. I stayed with my son until he got to the age of 18 years when I lost him, unfortunately, in a car accident.
Sorry.
I think at that time I was so vulnerable. So what I did, I reached out to God. So I started going to a certain church and I met this lady. I talked to her about my experience and what I'm going through. So basically there was a time I was working and then I quit working because I was just feeling emotional. I couldn't deal with people. So basically it's like I was withdrawn.
I understand that pain, and
Yes.
I went through it. And many people will not understand. But as I said, when you're so depressed, it gets you into a point that you can't reason well. You only see what you see in front of you. You can't reason beyond that. I don't know if people understand. It's something to do with mental health. And mental health is so important. We take it for granted, but this is what leads people into dementia and even madness. You ask yourself, why did somebody do this? Why did they do this? But at that point, even that person cannot reason. You see a lot of wrong. It's just like people who are playing football. You know, when they're playing football in the field, we are not footballers, but you can easily see the mistakes. Kwa nini hakupatia nani? Kwa nini If they tell you to go and play that football, you wouldn't know a thing. So I really understand Anne's pain. It's something I went through. It's the same depression she's talking about, and there are so many people out there who suffer from this. And then, Anne, sorry to have cut you.
Thank you, thank you. What really happened, I used to work, but then it made no sense anymore. I was working for my son. There he's gone. It's like I was losing it, by the way. So I found consolation in church. And when I met this lady who started telling me about this deal, I could carry this stuff, take it somewhere, get some money. Basically, I wanted to just get out of where I was, by the way, go somewhere, you know, all alone, just be alone. And I needed some money. And believe me, I didn't think through this deal. I think I was desperate, vulnerable. I didn't think through. So when I was told about this trip to Brazil, I'll go and collect a package and then I transport it to Mozambique. By the way, it didn't cross my mind. They told me it's something, you know, it's just a package like diamonds. So I told myself, for the money they're offering me, I said, wow, this sounds good. So I
How
said,
much was it?
okay, they told me it's like $500,000. Then it sounded like a lot of money.
That is what they were going to give you?
Yes, that's what they were going to give me after I delivered the stuff to Mozambique.
After, not
yes,
before?
Not before. What they offered me was like $1,000 as pocket money. So I was to go to Brazil, book myself into a hotel. After 2-3 days, somebody would contact me and bring me the package in the hotel. So I went to Brazil. I stayed like for 3 days. Nobody was contacting me. Finally, somebody contacted me. This man was Nigerian. He came, we talked, he told me I need to carry this package to Mozambique. This was like a rucksack, very heavy. But when I open the pockets, there's nothing. I see nothing, but I feel the weight. It's heavy, but there's nothing actually. So they told me go and do some shopping. Look like you're here on business. So I go on and bought some things for my family. So here I am. I've packed my suitcase and then I put the rucksack on top. So they told me tomorrow you need to now check out from your hotel and act normal. So I was like, fine. So I packed my suitcase, locked up, and I went to the airport. At the airport, funny thing, a policeman came, Brazilian, with a sniffer dog. And here I am holding my suitcase. He just said, hi, madam, and he walked away. And I told myself, so whatever I'm carrying, I think there's nothing wrong with it. So, and my suitcase went through. So I boarded the plane. The plane was transiting in Ethiopia. So at Ethiopia, when I checked in to check my passport and everything, to fill everything, that's when somebody came and told me, madam, step aside. So I looked at this guy, I'm like, step aside. For what reason? So he asked me, you're from Brazil? I said, yes. What are you going to do in Brazil? I told him business. So he asked me, how many luggages do you have? I said, one. So he looked at me and told me, one luggage? Business? Very suspicious. Just told me, madam, step aside. So, there were many people behind me in the queue. So I didn't want to raise an alarm or anything. So I just slowly stepped aside. So that's when they took me to a room at the airport. It's like a cell, by the way. Went through questioning. But for me, I was blank. I didn't know what they were looking for. So they asked me, where is your suitcase? I told me it was already gone. So they asked me, do you want us to go and bring your suitcase? We check. I was like, yeah, go and do it. So me, I'm seated there. They went and came back with my suitcase. So they opened. They seen clothes, new clothes, shoes, and everything. And here's a rucksack on top. They hold it. Yes, it's heavy, but it's empty. So they're like, I think there's nothing. Let her go. But then there's another police who came. No, something funny is going on. So they started now again, moving all my clothes from the suitcase, checking this rucksack. And they're like, something is not right here. Me, I'm seated there, I'm watching, I don't know what is happening, but I don't know what they're looking for, yeah? I'm like, it's just a rucksack. So finally, one of them tore it apart. That's when, believe me, something just fell off. It's like packaged like flour. It's white in color. And the another one is like cream in color. So they looked at me, they're like, madam, this is cocaine. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know about cocaine, I know nothing about it. So they asked me, who sent me? I told them it's somebody. They told me to carry this package. They told me it's diamonds. They told me, no, madam, you've been duped. So they told me you have to sit here till morning. Then we'll know what to do tomorrow. So the following day, I spent the night there, by the way. The following day, I think the one in charge of it's like a police station, a small post at the airport. So when he came, he interrogated me. I was blank. I didn't know what he was asking me. I was, I'm already confused. I just told him, I reached upon her, I just said, do what you have to do. I don't know what is happening. I'm in a strange country. No form of communication, no nothing. So they told me, fine, madam. They took my details and everything, fingerprints. They told me, madam, we have to take you now to, it's like remand. Now it's like a small police station. So that's early in the morning they drove me. So when I got there, of course they have to inspect me and everything, fingerprint. Then they took my photo and they asked me to hold this thing. And then now I entered into the cell. I started prison life.
Sorry about that, my sister.
Well, it's a long story still. So when I was there, I kept on going to court for almost 9 months.
How are the courts in Ethiopia?
Well, I don't know. I've never been to Kenyan court, so I don't know. I can't compare with Kenyan court.
Just as a brief description, are they presentable? Are they clean?
They're not presentable. That's all I
Are
can
they
say.
congested?
They're not congested, but they're not clean. By the way, they're not clean. And normally they sit like 3, 4 judges there.
3, 4 judges. The courtroom?
Yes. And then for us foreigners, you need to have a translator because they speak in Amharic. There's no English there. So what had happened, when I went to this remand, I insisted and I told them I need to speak to my embassy. So they called in Kenyan embassy. So that was the way I was able to contact my family and tell them I'm in Ethiopia. So my family somehow, they raised some funds and they got me a lawyer who is an Ethiopian. So they had to send money through Western Union for him now to start representing me in court. He asked me to plead guilty. It would make my sentence small. Well, I pleaded guilty. I knew, I don't know, I was in the wrong. Yes, they got me this thing in my suitcase, so I have to accept. So I pleaded guilty, and I was given 6 years sentence. So after that, they removed me from the remand, and now they took me now to Kaliti, now the main prison. That's how I started now prison life. I thank God, all in all, I think God was there for me. I ended up being the committee. There were 41 foreigners from different countries, Sweden, Brazil. The highest number was from South Africa, Nigeria. Basically, from most African countries, we had foreigners. Okay, I've never been to Kenyan prison, but I've spoken to a few people who have told me Kenyan prison life is not easy.
At all. Let's leave it there, and then we will talk about the prison in Ethiopia, because this must have been, you said, was it 2013?
Yes, 2013.
And you met this lady in church.
Yes, in church.
So you had no reason to doubt.
To doubt her, yes.
Because
she told me she has been doing it herself, because I could see she's doing very well. Her lifestyle is on the higher side. So what she told me, she's a born-again Christian. Yes. She kept on insisting. She's a born-again Christian. So
you didn't...
I couldn't doubt her, by the way.
So thank you, Anne, for sharing with us the first part of the story. I know it is a sad journey, especially if you went out to look for a way to better your life, and this is how you ended up. It is not something very easy. We are going to wind this part up, and we are going to look out for part 2 of this story. Stay tuned with us. Anne is going to come back right now. Thank you.